My name is Ray Kirk. I'm a ABS Mastersmith from Tahlequah, Oklahoma. And one of my favorite knives is the integral. I make hidden tang integrals and full tang integrals. And I have developed a couple of jigs to help me in making it easier to make. And I like to share this with you. Today we're going to show you how you can take a common mistake in forging integrals and make it easy for you. This is one of the knives that has a common mistake in it. As you can see, the tang and the blade are not perfectly centered on the bolster. You can also see that they're not in line. The jigs that I use will enable you to put this in the center in just a few seconds. Put the back tang in the center in just a few seconds. And then the other jig will align both of these so that they're perfectly aligned and straight. Then you forge your blade, you forge your tang, and if you mess up, you put it back in the alignment jig, and that gets everything perfectly straight in this area right here, which is the most important part. This is a hidden tang, and the only jig we use on it is a centering tang. We won't need to center the bolster because it's going to be hid anyhow. We do want it to be in the center of the bolster. This will enable you to, when you clean up this bolster area, for your handle material to fit, to be square and centered up, and it won't be too close to the edge on any of it. This also has the same mistake, where if you hit on one side too much, it pushes this side over here. And the jigs that I use, you can use one of the centering jigs for this, and it will put it right back in shape, and then you forge the blade. The common techniques used for forging are the same applied for this. This is the centering jig that I've developed to help you get this blade in the center. And what you do is, when you heat this up, you slide it into the jig and hit it with a hammer, put it in a press, and if you don't have a hammer, power hammer or a press, you can weld a square bar to fit your hardy hole. You set it in, you smack it on the top, you press it or whatever. And what this does is it fits the diameter of the bar that you have. This one's just set up for a 3/4 round bar, a 5/8 round bar, and a 17/32 round bar. These are the three sizes that I use. If you have a different size, then you can clamp this in a vise and drill the size hole that you need for your bar. And you just pick one that you don't use, center it up and drill. And when you hit a blank spot in there, that's when you stop. It's already set up so that it has a little bit of a radius to keep from messing up your bolster area. It's not designed to put the radius in. You probably can, but that would push the heel of your blade a little bit further away from the bolster, and we don't want to do that. It's set up on a spring, it's heavy. All of these are numbered. And this takes care of the alignment. On a full tang integral, such as this small one or a large one, when you get them centered up, you heat them back up and I have the alignment jig. And what this is two flat bars that have place welded in it, a spacer, and what you do is you take your knife and you slide it in the middle, and as you can see, it just sits in here kind of loose. It looks like a lot of room in there, but I've designed these so you could use larger rods for your round bar for you making your knives. When this is pushed down, beat down, hammered down, squeezed down, it will align the tang and the blade in the same plane as this. It's just on the inside. Once you have that, you continue to forge your blade down here. You forge this out, put your distal taper in it, take your handle, forge it out the way you want, forge in a distal taper if you like, and if you mess it up, then you put it back in the alignment jig, and it will make sure that this part here on your knife is perfectly in line, and the blade and bolsters and the tang is all centered up. So later we'll show you what this looks like when we run it through the two jigs.
Hold it, spin it, there you go, hold, spin. Hold it. Turn it, all the way around, hold it right there, okay. Hold it. Let me focus a little better.
The sides on the bolster, if you look down the blade, you can see that they're the same on both sides. This is what the centering jig does. It puts this blade in the center of the bolster. That's the goal. If you get it centered up, then after you get it centered up, then you can continue to forge like a regular knife. You draw this heel down, draw the blade down, forge the point, and just like you would if you had a regular piece of flat bar. The centering jig works on this one to get it lined up, and even on the small one. If you have a special size, then all you have to do is re-drill one of the holes in the jigs to fit your particular size bar. When this one has been centered up, the next step is to align the blade and the tang so that they're both in the same plane and straight. So now we have the blade, tang in the center of the bolster, and these are in alignment. You forge these out just like a regular knife. You forge this out like a full tang knife. And if you happen to twist it, you put it back in the alignment jig, and it will get this area back in alignment. And then all you have to do is worry about the ends. This video was made to show you how to use special jigs to improve the quality and speed when making an integral style knife. I demonstrated 2 jigs that I use to center the blade and tang of a full tang integral and to align them both. During the filming of this video at my good friend Doc Wacko's, I became acutely aware that it helps each maker to be aware of their assets and limitations. Know your equipment and keep it working correctly. You don't have to have power equipment, but it does make it a lot easier. I hope you have enjoyed this informational video, and feel free to share the knowledge with other makers that may be a bit hesitant about trying to make one. I do have these jigs for sale and can be reached through contact information on my website, rakerknives.com. Thank you.